Okay, we're going to tie a fly called an Abaco Bunny. And this is a very effective pattern, obviously for the Bahamas, because the island is called Abaco down there. We started fishing this years and years ago. I don't believe it's, well, I shouldn't say that. I still like to fish the crab somewhat better, but this is a very bulky fly, so it does attract bonefish from quite a distance. We're going to take a piece of tan rabbit, light tan, a nice hide underneath. Don't get a thin hide. You know, use thin hide, you'll break it a lot, because we're going to take the hook and push it right through the hide. So we'll take this and pull it down and try to even the pressure out of the skin so you don't rip it. It's a little tricky. Again, if you fish barbless, it's probably a good idea to take the barb down at that point in time, which I do, but there we go. It's attached. Okay. All right, we're going to come over. We're going to place this hook upside down on the vise. Attach our pink A thread again, like so. Bring it down here. Try to get a base layer underneath the rabbit. Just pull the rabbit out of the way. Okay. Good place to add a little head cement at this point. Bring the rabbit down the bend a little bit there. Curve it around the hook. And anchor it down. Okay. Now don't take the rabbit hide too far forward, because we're going to attach a set of eyes right up on top there. We're going to take and turn the hook over. Okay, as a filler right here, I'll put a little, because we got the leather sitting up there like that, I'll take a little of that tan rabbit again. And we'll just cut a little piece off here. And we'll cover that strip of leather on the top like so. Okay, now at this point in time, we're going to add some wiggle eggs with the bright orange tips. We'll take and cut 3. Get all the rabbit fur off of them. Anyway, I leave them fairly long out the back. Okay, and attach those right on top of the rabbit. Again, leave them nice and long. I sometimes even leave them longer than what I have here. Bonefish, when they want to eat something, they'll come right up and completely inhale that. Okay. We're going to attach real eyes. These are the size 5/32. Going to come in front. It's about a third from the bend of the hook in front of where we've attached the rabbit and the legs right there. Attach the eyes like so. Anchor them down. Don't be bashful about winding that thread super, super tight. In fact, I'll come up here again and make a hump, so we can come back and come over with your thread and try to make it stay in front of that hump like so. If you can follow me there, you can kind of see the thread jumped up in front of that hump right there. So what that does is when we come back with our thread, it'll create a crunch down or a pull down, so to speak, on that thread that was in front of your eyes, and it really attaches those more securely. Okay, come underneath. I find this to be a good method of also just brings your eye to the bottom of the set of eyes, so you can get attached even tighter. Okay, at this point, lather it with head cement. Only soak it up. Okay. Now we're going to take the little eyes that fit in the real eyes. There's little concave indents on both sides. So we'll take these off. People take them off with bodkins. It really doesn't matter. I just use the tip of my scissors and just place them inside the concave area there. Sometimes it's quick and easy. Sometimes they don't want to get off the scissors. There we go. Put them inside. And you have to watch, these are 5/32 eyes again. You have to watch what size of eyes that you, the pupils that you buy. Sometimes you can buy this package together. These are 1.5 size, and that's the perfect size for 5/32. Okay, we'll get the other one in. On this side, that one went nice and quick. Take your head cement, go over the eye to glue it inside the concave place again in the real eyes. Do the other side. Okay. Now, this fly sometimes you actually think that you're using a whole rabbit hide at times, but I don't do a dubbing loop here. You can if you want. You can secure that rabbit tighter, but it's not needed. Just start dubbing, and it's not pretty, but it works. And I keep the dubbing right here in my hand and just kind of take your fingers like so, bring them around and just latch it down and keep doing it and keep doing it. It takes a lot of rabbit. This is the messy part. You get the rabbit everywhere, and if you have allergies, you will start sneezing here soon. Again, you don't have to make this fly look real pretty. It all comes out at the end here. Lots of rabbit. Come back and we'll put some there. Come up. Ooh, excuse me. Rabbit's getting to me. Ooh. Tickle, tickle. Okay. Okay, make sure you're getting the bottom, so come down, look at it. These vices that roll over are very good for that. And you can use dubbing wax, but again, or wet your fingers, but I haven't found it to be a necessity at this point in time, especially on this fly. We'll wet this one a little bit here and get it started. Okay. Just keep fuzzing it on. Bushier this fly is, the better it works. I do know that. Probably take, if you bought this rabbit in a package, you'd probably use up half the package per fly. But it's better just to use a hide. Buy a tan rabbit hide. It goes a lot further. Okay. Bring your thread to the front. We're going to leave a little bit of room because we're going to attach a weed guard here. At this point in time, you can take a brush or what have you. I just take my scissors and just fluff this out a little bit like so, because it's pretty loose on there. Just make it nice and buggy looking. Okay. Now we're going to take it out of the vise again, turn it over. Okay. Now, for weed guards, a lot of people don't realize, and I'm going to make a pretty strong point here for weed guards. When you're fishing bonefish, there's a lot of places where there's turtle grass, okay? I can remember years and years ago, I was fishing Bimini Island, and 3 huge bonefish came up, and I didn't have a weed guard on my fly, and they got stuck in the turtle grass, and I made one little pull, and 3 bonefish that I know were over 10 pounds each, they took off for parts unknown. So it just moved the turtle grass unnaturally. So I always attach a weed guard on all my permit and bonefish flies. It doesn't matter if you're fishing sand or flats or whatever, just because of the fact that you're going to hook something. You're going to hook coral, you're going to hook turtle grass, what have you. So it's a necessity if you ask me. And sometimes people don't realize what they think, that the weed guard is going to put the fish off because it's stiff. But you got to realize that those fish are eating crabs and things that are biting them or taking their claws and grabbing their nose and their mouth. Those fish are used to eating things that'll torture them. I once watched a mantis shrimp in the shallows. I was teasing it, and their strike is supposedly been tracked at up to 700 miles per hour. So there's not a fish out there that probably doesn't respect those somewhat, but again, that's the severity of those creatures that they're eating. So weed guards, they don't care. So we're going to take a pair of forceps. You can do this with a pair of pliers or whatever. We're going to flatten that end so we can tie it on a lot better. Just do an eighth of an inch or so. Doesn't take much, because tying in a weed guard when it's round, your thread tends to slip and the weed guard will slip and so on and so forth. So anchor that in like that on that flat spot. And again, don't worry about the head and things. You can make this fly look pretty if you'd like, but it's one that I really don't care. You know, even tying commercially, I really don't mind the extra rabbit and things sticking out like that. Make sure it's secure. Pull on it real good. Make sure it's tucked into there, tied into there good. And then take your thread and come behind the weed guard. And at this point in time, keep bringing it forward, and your thread will eventually bring it up like that. Make sure she's going to stay there, because you don't want a weed guard that lays flat. They may sit that way in a box being sent to a fly shop, but anytime I fish these flies, if they do get pushed back, if I'm going on a trip and for some reason I load too many flies in a box and they do get pushed down, I always bring them back up. Make sure they're out there. They are weed guards, and make sure that this is 20 thousandths hardened mason. Make sure you use at least this heavy. At times for permit, I'll use 25 thousandths. Again, this is 20 thousandths, which is 16 pound, but they don't mark it that way. They mark it 20 thousandths diameter. Okay. Again, you can take some rabbit and get it out of the way there if you'd like, and we'll whip finish this off like so, and put a little head cement on the eye. At times, actually, if I have a lighter around or whatever, I will burn the end of that, but it doesn't make any difference. Burn the end of your weed guard, makes it look a little better, but that's all. So, and there you have it. That's the Abaco Bunny.